We're now a full week after the Broadcasting Authority of Ireland made its findings in relation to the famous Tweetgate incident on RTÉ's Frontline programme. You'll recall that this was the last televised presidential debate. A tweet was read out of the programme that later transpired to be bogus. It said that a man would be produced that would contradict the story that Seán Gallagher was telling about a Fianna Fáil fundraising event, and it was one of the contributory factors in most people's minds to Seán Gallagher's eventual downfall. He went from being the runaway leader in opinion polls to finishing a rather distant second to the eventual winner, Michael D. Higgins. The new twist in the story came over the weekend when the Sunday Independent reported that an audience member alleged that the original question he was going to put to Seán Gallagher, or to all the presidential candidates, about the presidential pay, Maria, was changed by programme makers to become a hostile question that was put to Mr. Gallagher, and this question related to his record as an employer during the Celtic Tiger years and afterwards. This man, Pat McGurk from County Monaghan, said that he had been essentially manipulated by the researchers, and that the question had literally been put, or words literally had been put into his mouth. Now, his story was subsequently undermined by two salient facts. The first was that he had written to the programme 2 days after the programme with an effusive email congratulating them for all their work with him, and secondly, it also was emerged that he has previous convictions for fraud, which undermines his credibility and his reliability to a certain extent. But the effect of what happened this weekend has been to broaden the debate about RTÉ, about its editorial responsibility and the way that it approaches programmes such as Liveline and other live audience programmes. And what happened last night was remarkable. We had a series of different things happening in relation to monitoring and scrutiny of the broadcaster. The first was that Seán Gallagher complained to the Minister for Communications. He forwarded the communication to the Broadcasting Authority of Ireland. The Broadcasting Authority of Ireland is going to meet later on today, and amongst other things will most probably discuss this latest controversy as well. Its hands are tied to a certain extent, because a complaint usually must be lodged within 30 days of the programme being made, but there are exceptional circumstances under Section 53 of the Broadcasting Acts that allow the BAI Compliance Committee to investigate complaints that are made outside that particular time. So that's one string of the bow. The second string of the bow is that RTÉ itself has launched a very comprehensive process, an internal process where they're going to look at the Frontline programme, at the sequence, look at the policies and rules that were in place. They're going to formulate new rules in relation to the use of tweets and Twitters, and they're also going to do a very thorough examination of the way they approach all of their programming in current affairs, including with a particular emphasis on live studio audience programmes such as Frontline. So we may see a change of culture, we may see a change of emphasis in relation to how these stories are approached. It's a very subtle dividing line, trying to achieve balance, trying to achieve fairness, but at the same time there always has to be news judgment, there's a news agenda, and perhaps a story emerges that must be chased. That sometimes means a very tough questioning on one particular participant and letting other participants on the programme kind of get away with it slightly. So there's always a judgment call to be made in that circumstance. The third aspect that's interesting is the kind of more general charge that has been made by Leo Varadkar amongst others, that RTÉ is kind of biased in its outlook, that it's liberal, that it's left-leaning, and that it doesn't give parties that are slightly on the right or of a conservative bent a fair crack of the whip. That, of course, is very subjective as well, and might be more difficult to come down with some kind of rule that will allow RTÉ to kind of proceed in a kind of straight down the middle kind of a way. So it's a story that took on new life over the course of the weekend. There's been a new wave of controversy that has hit the station, and I think we're going to see a lot more emerging over the next few days before the story is replaced by another in the news cycle. You can watch our updates on politics and on this story on our website www.irishtimes.com.